I guess we'll roll with that one tonight. I was just trying some different sounds, but episode number 68, correct? Or 69?
I think that's right.
Okay, 68 of the BSG podcast, brought to you by Moon Golf. Zeke playing it here, so in honor of Zach, let me say, we are back. Episode 68. As always, like I said, brought to you by our friends over at Moon Golf. We are thankful for Moon Golf. We have a guest on tonight before he jumps on. We'll even talk about this coming up weekend, which is made possible by Moon Golf.
Yeah, I was going to say that this podcast probably wouldn't be where it is right now. The videos on YouTube wouldn't be where they are right now without the help of Moon Golf and everything that they do for us and the supporting Auburn area. I think they do tremendous amounts of work, not only for the local guys like us, but their players, the university, and people that coincide with the university. We're very thankful to have them on our side, and I know they still do a lot of stuff down there in Florida as well. So
I wonder if once Megan Schofield, I think I said that right, who just won the U.S. Women's AM. I wonder if she's going to be sponsored by Moon Golf when she goes professional.
That would be awesome. I know that they have Kaylee Telford, I think that's right.
Uh-huh.
I remember we saw her in their store earlier this year, and she's I think she's on the Epson tour. So I guess they have they're definitely sponsoring people on the lower end.
I imagine they'll grab Megan.
I would imagine.
Giant banner they put up in the store.
Yeah, she's probably going straight to the Epson tour and going to work her way up into getting into the LPGA tour. Gotta
be. So this weekend we're going to play in the Brian Bros Invitational. I think it's called the Invitational. 4-man scramble. Me, Brady, Zach, and Germ are going. I wish I had a Moon Golf. I would be wearing a Moon Golf polo, but they didn't have me and Brady's size in the store.
Yeah.
So
they had
instead,
one
Brady and I,
left
of the Moon Golf.
Yeah, but it was a large, and I would have to have a medium. It would have been way too big.
But we are going to be rocking the Moon Golf Callaway. Are they True not True Viz. Are they?
They're Chrome Softs.
Chrome Softs with the logos on them. I'm excited. Shout out. And Brady went to Moon Golf and was going to get some stuff, and he's going to purchase some. And the guy at the counter's like, actually, we have these for y'all. So hooked us up with the free golf balls. That's always a plus. I'm excited about it, though. So we can I guess we can talk about it. At any point, if you're listening or watching, our guest may hop on. He's supposed to be coming on in about 5 minutes. So we'll stop what we're talking about, interview him, and then we'll kind of pick back up. But we're going to play Aiken Golf Club. I think it's a pretty historic golf club course.
Yeah. I remember No Laying Up did a. I think it was.
Oh yeah, they did.
They did a very in-depth behind the scenes with the superintendent. I think the guy that is the superintendent now. I want to say his father was one of the maybe course designers or architects.
Oh, wow.
Somewhere around in there. So it kind of came back, full circle to him. And at some point, the city bought it, and then finally they let this guy buy it out from under the city or from the city, and then there's
Jim
been
McNair.
A lot of, that's right.
Yeah, No Laying Up has a whole video just 8 months ago. Aiken Golf Club, Jim McNair's lifelong project. So go check that out. I need to watch that again before this weekend.
It's I think it'll be very beneficial for us because we can see the layout, and it's not very long. Maybe I think maximum yardage is close to 6,100 yards.
Do you think? Well, this is where Wesley he films a lot of his content there. Do you think they're going to play in their tournament similar to how Busted Jack did? And who would be their other two on their team? I don't know.
Yeah, I have a feeling that they probably will. Maybe at least one of them will.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to guess, they've been filming a lot with the hole in one trick shot guy.
Oh yeah.
And then there's some other guys, there's some other guys, some big name YouTubers out there that I believe could be showing up.
Are you more excited to meet Wesley or George? I'm assuming both will be there because it's their tournament.
Yeah. So Wesley's got that kind of country boy vibe. I feel like me and him would be closer,
Yeah,
But George is the cool guy on the
on
YouTube
the
channel.
tour.
Everybody's like,
I mean, Wesley is, yeah.
yeah. But either way, like, I mean, either one of them, I'll be glad to take a picture with.
I was about to say, when I first started watching him, Wesley was out chasing his dream, so George was like the only person I knew. Um, and then Wesley came on. I think this is my first, I'm pretty sure, PGA Tour golfer I'm going to meet will be Wesley, or they call him
Yeah,
Wedgley.
we we met players that have been close to being on tour, have
Oh,
Monday
like Cooper.
qualified.
What's his name? Cooper?
Yeah, yeah, and then I mean Michael Morris, he played
Oh, that's true.
in an event, but he didn't qualify or didn't make the
Well,
cut.
this is
So
my first time meeting a PGA Tour winner. We'll
ah,
say it like that.
there you go.
I'm
Yeah, because
excited
he
about
did
it.
win.
I hope they do play. I hope they're on the range, like hitting stuff, because I want to see what it's like to watch a PGA Tour winner hit the golf ball.
Oh yeah,
Um,
go through their whole
if
routine.
we put out a post today, kind of talking about what we thought as a team our predictions would be. Mine was around 6 under. New course, we never played it, but like you said, we do have the benefit of it being shorter. I think back to last year we went to Texas, played a super long course, super windy.
Yeah,
We were 2 under as a team. So I think 6 under is doable.
yeah, I would say so because I mean us tipping it out at point, it's around 6,200 yards, and we're usually around 6 or 7 under there when we scramble. So I think 600 is a good number. I'm gonna put us at 7 just because I think maybe
Oh, I
we
love
can
it.
get an eagle to drop somewhere.
What did we shoot? This is kind of like a could kind of decide, but the same four of us we played in that tournament point. We filmed it, and the video got messed up. Oh,
That's right.
well, can you
Billy,
hear
can you
us?
You
hear?
guys hear?
Oh, there we go.
Awesome. What's going on, fellas?
What's up? How are you doing?
Good. I apologize. I'm not on camera right now. I'm driving home still, but
No, that's
all,
fine.
all good to
Uh,
go.
we'll kind of jump into it. Brady, you kind of want to do a little? Do you have an intro for him for the
Yeah,
people?
I'll give the people something to look forward to here.
Yeah.
We've got Billy Richards joining us today from the Carolina Pines Instagram channel. He's an incredible photographer and videographer who shares pictures and experiences from golf courses all over the Carolinas on his social media and his website as well.
I
Can you hear
lost
us,
you.
Billy? You there?
Now I'm back.
Okay,
In full
awesome.
action.
Awesome. We didn't. Brady was just kind of introducing you to everyone listening. Um, so we'll just kind of jump into it. First off, I found all your stuff, which we all did on social media, and just was blown away by your photos. Incredible. One, I didn't know people could do that with a drone. Absolutely incredible the stuff you do. But so, did you set out like your journey into this? Were you always into golf and golf architecture and wanting to get that, or did you like start off? You're just photographer, videographer, and then you fell in love with golf, and so golf photography followed, or how did it go?
Yeah, no, it's a great point. First of all, thank you guys for having me on, and sorry about the technical difficulties there. Hopefully, we'll be in the driveway here shortly, and we won't be moving around. But yeah, so I'd say the answer to that question is I was not a photographer or videographer, nor was I a golfer.
Oh
So
wow.
if you can really kind of figure out how I got to the point where I am now, it's kind of crazy. Because I definitely wouldn't have thought if you told me 5 years ago that I would be playing 120 rounds of golf a year and have a photography side hustle thing like I have, and as much people supporting it as they have. I mean, it's crazy. So it all kind of started when I moved down to North Carolina from New York. I'm originally from upstate New York. I had buddies who were really into golf growing up. I played hockey and lacrosse myself, and spent a lot of time on lakes in the summertime, and kind of thought golf was a little bit boring and overpriced. And I just was like, I'm gonna put my time and my resources, my money elsewhere when I was young. And now I'm kicking myself for that, of course, because I'd probably be a heck of a lot better.
Yeah.
But I just wasn't into it. And then when I moved down to Raleigh, I was living with my now wife. We were downtown area, and just that first year, I had no way to get outside, and like it drove me nuts because I'm kind of definitely an outdoors kid. And so I started, playing golf with a couple buddies who were getting back into the game, and they invited me along. And I had grown up playing 1 or 2 rounds a year, I would say, like the very, very casual golfer who does it just to have some drinks with his buddies and go out for a big occasion and, shoot 150 and be done. So that was really, really my extent of it. I had a set of golf clubs that was passed down to me from my grandfather, and basically just that's what I was using. So, but then I got the bug and definitely got it hard. And there's no shortage, as you guys know, of really good golf courses in the Carolinas and in the greater Raleigh, Pinehurst area. And that was something that we didn't have where I grew up. So, like, it was just different golf then versus now. Like, once I started, seeing different courses that had a completely different level of architectural, significance to them, or even look. Before I even knew what art golf architecture was, I was like, man, this is different than the run-of-the-mill stuff I've seen growing up. So, that got me really interested in wanting to see more and kind of peeling back the onion and okay, so where else around me, is there courses like this that I can take a look at and check out. And, and as I went along and started that journey, I've always been kind of an iPhone photographer, I guess we'll call it. I've always put together little videos of like trips we go on with our buddies or the family, but it was all done through iPhone stuff and stitched together, nothing fancy, kind of like, I forget that one app, what it was called. It was kind of like TikTok before TikTok. Oh, Vine.
Vine.
It's called Vine.
Yeah.
It was like kind of like Vine. I would like make these little vines and, kind of just memories of trips, but never anything formal with videography, no training, none of that, no photography training, never even owned a camera other than, your phone. So started posting all these pictures on my personal account, Billy Rich. And, after a while, I was like, man, I'm inundating like everybody with golf photos all the time. They probably think I'm an absolute degenerate. So I'm going to go ahead and start this page over here. And I'm going to make like a golf focus where I can kind of park all my golf photos. And I did that, and I decided to call it Carolina Pines. And the reason behind that is just because the trees and everything down here, it sounds like really ridiculous and simple, but there's something about those Carolina Pines, right? You guys will know when you come down here and see they're special. The way they frame out a lot of the golf courses, the way they look, they're very unique. The sandscape and everything, and there's a look to it. So back where I'm from, we don't have trees that look like that, so I called it Carolina Pines. So that's kind of how it came to be the name and everything. And started out, like I said, as iPhone photos, and then following the fried egg and following no laying up and really getting into the that side of the golf world. As I got the bug, I got exposed to more photography and golf photographers and guys who did really cool stuff from a videography perspective, like Jeff Marsh and Matt Hahn and those guys. And they were a huge inspiration to me initially, looking at their stuff, and Andy Johnson at the Fried Egg, and being like, man, this is sick. Like, so cool. Like, looking at these courses, first of all, from this view, and then, learning about new places, learning about the history, all through social media, and the drone aspect of it was just really cool. I just thought the courses looked incredible from the air. I know it's kind of a controversial topic, to be honest with you, because there's some people who really prefer no drone photography and seeing it basically from the ground, and how the player would see it, which I definitely resonate with. And I've tried to get more of that, into my, I guess, portfolio over the last couple, last year or so, try to not just do everything up super high, but yeah, so it's kind of just evolved through that, with buying my first drone and getting licensed and doing that whole thing and learning how to fly. And initially, I didn't really reach out to a ton of courses. I would kind of just go and do my thing, and kind of hone my craft that way. And it's evolved from 0 to now over 15,000 people, which is pretty darn cool for somebody who never expected to even start this.
So when you have these photos, are you actually at the course playing that day, or are you there specifically to get the content?
Yeah, good question. So I'd say more and more lately, I do go to places where I don't play at all. I'd say 75, 80% of what I shoot is where I'm there playing. I never shoot and play at the same time, so I always will get there super early. If I have a 8 a.m. tee time, I'll get there at 5:45, something like that. Well, get all that stuff done. The sun, for a couple of reasons, like the sunlight obviously is much better, sunrise and sunset. And I just can't multitask, and I've crashed drones when I try to play at the same time. So it's just better for everybody, including my playing partners and everybody else on the course, if I'm not doing that while we're playing. So, and I like to try to enjoy the round if I can. And it's tough to do that when you've got a couple $1,000 piece of plastic flying around in the air.
Exactly.
So.
What's the so if you're not playing and you're going to get the content, what's that conversation? Are you calling them saying, "Hey, I've got this social media page. I'm getting photos. Do you care if I just come right around your course?" And most people are cool with it.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess it's evolved now where I'll definitely reach out to some courses where I'm trying, outside the Carolinas, especially if I'm trying to go to, say, California or New York or something on a work trip or a personal trip, and I'm going to be in LA or somewhere where I know I want to go check out a course. I mean, I'm not trying to. I'm realistic to know who I am right now, where I'm not going to get access to Augusta and all that stuff, National Golf Links of America and that type of courses. But, if I go to a cool course in LA and get on its public place and it's a top 100 public, and I can go shoot it and make it, reach out to their general manager and let them know about the page and what we're doing. And now it's kind of got the following where people are taking more notice when I make that phone call or that shoot over that email. And there's definitely a lot more willingness to have a conversation about, either staying and playing for something or even, further compensation from there. Initially when I first started this, I had to build it all up from scratch and just do stuff on my own, and really, for the most part, was don't ask permission, beg for forgiveness type of guy.
Yeah.
But with that said, right, I never rarely flew when the golf course is open and there are players on the golf courses. I'm flying, very early in the morning or basically late at night. I'm never getting near people. I'm obviously, being a golfer myself, very respectful of the game and not wanting to, disrupt anybody's time out there. So I kind of stayed a pretty low profile early on. And what I would do is just post the photos and tag the courses, and, people would take notice, courses would take notice, and slowly but surely people were starting to reach out. Hey, would you like to come down and do X, Y, and Z and take some photos and play some golf and spend the weekend? And it's kind of just continued to evolve from there. So, there's a couple courses here in the Carolinas that I work with on a regular basis. Like the Mid Pines, Pine Needles contingent is definitely one of those. Tobacco Road being another one. And outside of those, there's some other ones that I'll visit once or twice a year. And then from there, it's kind of freelancing to see, where I'm going and where I may have opportunities and who's in need of, kind of whatever it is that I'm putting out there, whatever you want to call it. Obviously the photography and the videos and all that stuff. And, I kind of have my own style to it, but at the same time, if a client wants something specific, we can do stuff like that too. But most of the time people are kind of just like, hey, we really like what you do. Come out here and just I don't know what to tell you other than do what you do.
Yeah.
So
I noticed one of your more
Yeah.
recurring courses on your page is Tobacco Road. Um, to me, we'll be there next month, but from your page, to me is one of the more beautiful courses I think that you post. So I love it to see when you post Tobacco Road on there.
I would even add to that just seeing it on his page is probably one of the main reasons that we picked to go there, just because of some
Yeah,
of
it
the
makes it
courses that
exciting
we've
to see it.
seen, on social media. Like once we started seeing it pop up, we were like sending it to each other in our DMs, and we were like, "This is where we're going this year." And then we made it happen just because we saw it on the Carolina Pines page.
That's awesome.
So
That's
they should
awesome.
give you a
See
piece
that.
of our sale.
Yeah, exactly.
They're good to me, but I mean, listen, guys, hearing stuff like that is like still kind of crazy to hear, right? Because it's just like, I mean, that's kind of why I did what I did with. I enjoy taking the photos and enjoy posting stuff, but I also like sharing these places with other people that don't live around here, because it's like there's some really awesome, out of this world. Like Tobacco Road is the course that made me flip upside down in love with this game and being like, what is out there? Like, oh my God, like architecture, the whole world of everything that goes along with the classic era, and Seth Rayner and Mackenzie and Tillinghast and all those guys, McDonald. I mean, Strantz was like a protege, or not a protege, but extremely inspired by a lot of these guys, and it comes through in spades when you look at his courses. And Tobacco Road is literally like playing golf and a painting.
Yeah.
And you guys see that through the photos. So, the photos come out good, but it's not that hard to take a bad photo there.
Yeah.
or not that. I mean, it's very easy to take good photos there, because it's an open property. You'll see it when you go. There's the difference between some of the Pinehurst courses and there is that there's a lot of tree-lined, pine-lined corridor holes in Pinehurst. Not a bad thing. It's just, it's that hole that you're on, and you're kind of immersed in that specific hole. You can't maybe see a ton of other green complexes or different, vistas. It's kind of just those corridors for the most part. There's a couple exceptions, but Tobacco Road, it's much more vast and open, and the scale of the place, the term gets thrown around scale, but it's colossal.
Wow.
And you feel it, out there on every shot, for sure. But it looks really hard, and it's a tough golf course if you don't have your game with you. But if you've got any sort of your game with you that day, and you trust somebody who's played it, or take a caddy, or even use the GPS, you're gonna be fine. And there's a lot more room out there than Strantz wants you to think.
I need to keep that in
On
mind.
a lot of those shots. Yeah. I mean, definitely, like a lot more room than over some of these shots than he wants you to think. So definitely plot your way around the course with a GPS or something, like Bad Birdies or whatever they use, whatever you guys may be using, because that helps on a place like that. And it's a course where you'll finish on 18 and you'll be like, okay, where's the first tee? Because we need to do that again.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot.
I guess for the listeners and like the people out there that just love gear, can you kind of run us through what drone you're using, and then even for the shots from the ground, like I guess you're past the iPhone stage now.
Yeah. So right now we're using a DJI Mavic 3 Classic drone.
Mm-hmm.
It's called. It's part of the Mavic 3 series. Anybody who's involved with drones and DJI knows that they have us pretty good, with just about as good as Apple has pretty much every consumer in North America when they put out a new product. Wow, like goo goo gaga. So that's what I'm using right now. This is my third one, so I've kind of basically got a new one every year, as the page has been up for about 3 years. So trying to keep up with, as I kind of hone the craft more, a little bit better technology, and whether it's up in the photo quality or up in the video quality, it's definitely made some advancements for sure. So we're using that for the drone, and then for my handheld photography, I actually just for the first time kind of invested in that and got a Sony Alpha A7 III.
Oh yeah.
Which is Yeah, so I got one of those, and it came out I think at least 5-6 years ago now, but
Yeah.
it's still a very good camera. And again, that's a new part of my skill set that I'm still learning. So I wasn't about to go spend $5,000 on something that, quite frankly, was way overkill for what I need right now. So,
I like it.
um, and I'm learning that lenses are everything.
Yeah.
Bodies are great, but if you don't have you can do so much with a good lens, and I think that's going to be my next purchase is a long range like 600 millimeter or something that goes way out, lens that we can get some more ground stuff with. So
what's kind of your sweet spot? Like when I look at your pictures, I love the over the green straight down, and then you're kind of like just barely above the tree line at an angle looking down. Have you found that to be where you get your money shots, kind of compared to like where you're saying you're super high up and you brought it down some? But to me, that's kind of like when I look at your stuff, that's your style, like the straight down on the greens, and then that just above the tree line looking out.
yeah, I try to, I mean, it's been kind of an evolution of where and how to fly and where to put the drone and where to get the best pictures. And, I look back at my stuff from my first drone and I've got it all saved in, this program called Lightroom, and you can go back to 2021 and I kind of like look at the initial stuff, and it was kind of like I literally would throw the drone in the air and like take pictures and not really move it around that much.
Mm-hmm.
And it would just kind of be these wide angle things. And as you go, you kind of like, okay, now if I reposition it a little bit more and lower, and kind of looking for contours in the course or even in a green or maybe in front of a cool bunker or something like that. And so now I try to really fly around to find features on the course that like obviously look really visually stimulating and cool, whether it be those big bunkers or big undulations, or obviously try to feature the green complexes as much as possible, and kind of have a hybrid look between, obviously we have the bird's eye view shots that you mentioned, but, not going so far up to where it's like completely distorted, to where the player would never see that view or understand that view. Kind of have that happy medium to where it really kind of gives them the scale of what's around them, but like still they know that that's that area or that green or something like that. And yeah, I definitely try to put stuff right on the tree lines as much as possible for sure. Because a lot of times I'm trying to get as much in a shot as close as possible. And a lot of times, you're backed up against the trees in a lot of instances.
One of my favorite photos
For
you've
sure.
posted, actually, you posted it earlier this month, is at Tobacco Road. But I guess you were standing like in the bunker looking up at the green's probably about 20 feet above your head, but there's the two wood staircases that kind of go beside each other.
Yeah.
Such a sick photo to me, like that you're down. Is that a view from in the bunker? Like the green's that elevated?
Yes. So that's hole number 9, and that was actually taken with a drone, believe it or not.
That low?
It was just down really low. Yeah. Yep. And I'm trying to do more of that to where like you wouldn't even know what I take it with necessarily,
Yeah.
because I am getting a lot lower with it and trying to just be more versatile. But yeah, I was kind of that low, and I was like, doing a video flying up those stairs really slow to kind of get some B-roll footage, and I'm like, holy crap, the sunrise coming
Yeah,
up
right on
over
the
that
backside
green
of the
and
green.
everything. So I backed up and I kind of panned the drone upwards like that, and ended up getting that shot. And so that's ninth green, and like that's one of the coolest holes in the course for sure. And the green is like on your second shot, it's an uphill shot that's anywhere between 130 to 165 yards, depending on how far you hit off the tee. And it's a narrow, long green, and it just falls off into a massive, like, I mean, I don't even want to call it a bunker. It's like a cavernous, like, canyon of sorts. Like it's crazy. Like you just can't miss to that side of it, or you're going to be probably making double or triple. But yeah, that is a bunker. You'll find a couple of those on Tobacco Road for sure. There's another one that you've probably seen on Zyre Golf a lot, which is that 12th hole, and it's an even deeper canyon than that
Oh
one.
yeah. So Billy Zach just joined us. Zach, Billy, we're talking about Tobacco
Hello.
Road right now.
Hey.
Um, oh dang. Oh, so I was going to ask you about Andy and the fried egg. So is he where you get a lot of your inspiration from? We love Andy, the fried egg. We love no laying up. In a world to us where YouTube golf is kind of like do crazy challenges and get views, and then you got no laying up that's kind of like just documented courses. That's kind of the direction we're wanting to rebrand and go to. So we love watching their
Mm-hmm.
stuff. We love Andy was actually at not too long ago, a course that we call home. Yeah, the Fields in LaGrange, Georgia. They had like a whole event out here. Which, by the way, if you're ever down here in Georgia, we need to get you over there because that course is so cool that a guy named Mike Young designed it and built it. And then years down the road, his son actually ended up buying the course. So now his son and him still own the course and operate it, and you'd love it.
Is that where Lion Loft's
Yes,
event was
they
this
just
year?
had it there.
Yeah, I was supposed to end up going to that, and I had a family, situation that had to come up, and I couldn't make the weekend, and I was so bummed because it looked really, really, really cool. But absolutely, Georgia is a state that, for Carolina Pines, that's like the peripheral.
Yeah.
Like I haven't gotten there yet at all, and I need to go down and do some stuff down there. I've had a couple people reach out to some various places, and that is absolutely high on the list, and a place I'd like to get to as soon as this fall.
Yeah, I know Ashley would be.
Sure.
He'd be thrilled to have you there and take those kind of photos and get to know him and meet him. It's just a cool course, the history of it with him and his dad.
Yeah, tell that story, and I mean, that's the stuff, like you said, to a point with what Andy does and no laying up and those guys. I mean, they're storytellers. They highlight different aspects of the game that I'm interested in. I don't, with all due respect to people who like to go out there and film themselves playing 18 holes with their buddies, that's cool. Not something I'm ever going to sit there and watch. It's just not my thing. And the guys that No Laying Up even kind of do that sometimes, but they also add, some really educational, cool elements to it, and they're funny as hell, so that helps. But, so Andy, I haven't met Andy personally, but yes, he is a massive inspiration to what I did. In fact, his video of Charleston Municipal Golf Course back in January of 2021, I was sitting there watching on the gym floor one morning early, like 6 a.m., and I'm just like, man, I'm buying a drone this week. Like, it was it. And that's literally, and I did, and that the rest, kind of evolved from there. But yeah, so to say that, he's a huge inspiration, and I love what they've done to be able to share, so many cool courses and so much architect information. And I had no idea who half these guys were before I just got into their YouTube channel and started, listening to him nerd out with a bunch of people about it and learning about it and having him interview architects and, all that stuff, as you guys know. So, really grateful for having those guys around to learn from and to kind of, inspire me and jumpstart the whole thing.
That's one of the newer areas we've started to appreciate after interviewing Ashley. Like, normally you just look at the course and you're like, oh, it's a golf course. I'm here to play 18 and get a turn dog and then go home. And now it's more like you can see the design. We interviewed Augustin Pisa and then Ashley, and it's like you don't know what goes into designing these courses, especially like over the size of the land.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. Like, the design aspect, and then the maintenance aspect too. I mean, I've gotten to know quite a few superintendents through my time, running this page. I mean, without those guys, there's nothing to take photos of.
Yeah.
So without them out there every morning doing what they do, there's nothing for me to show off. So I try to, always give them all the credit in the world for what they do. They have some of the hardest jobs in the world, and some of the hardest working people that are out there. Without them, none of us would get to enjoy the game that we do. So, but yeah, and obviously the design aspect, like we've got right now, Pinehurst, is doing something that pretty much hasn't really ever been done. Like, they're building a golf course, a world-class golf course in Pinehurst number 10, and it's basically done. And they started it 9 months ago.
That's wild.
Not even. And I mean, they've sodded the whole property, I think. I saw something that Angela Mosier put out today. It's just incredible how quickly they've put that place together. And it shows you with the capital and with the will, there's a way.
Exactly.
Similar,
Yeah.
Zach Blair in the Carolinas posted, I think it was his birthday yesterday, and he was like, 3 years ago we bought the tree farm. So they're more than triple the time, and theirs isn't live and playable yet. I'm sure it's getting close, but it's not. Pinehurst is on a different scale to most establishments building courses.
For sure. And they've got, part of the reason that motivated this is that speed is the U.S. Open obviously coming there next year. So they wanted to have it done for the fall, I think, or at least, at the latest, probably some VIP play in the winter, and then it'll be open for the spring season. And when people come for the U.S. Open, they'll be able to play that course, which is, worth it big time for Pinehurst. And they're doing so well lately. They've got the money to do what they got to do. And something like what Zach is doing, while they're going to be fine. I'm sure they've had to raise a lot of funds to do that, and obviously get all that stuff in order. And the resort, it's a little bit different beast. But
I was going to ask you, have you had that connection yet with Zach about getting some photos of the tree farm and being out there?
No, I have not, unfortunately. I do have a couple friends who got a chance to go down there and play a couple holes, but I don't have a connection with him yet, unfortunately, to be able to do that. But I'd obviously love to get down there someday and do that. And I mean, playing it is one thing, and whatever. But I mean, even to be able to shoot it, which is 98%. As much fun for me as playing these golf courses. I have almost just as much fun, if not equally, sometimes when I'm playing like crap, of shooting them as well. To be able to fall back on that. So yeah, I mean that would be super cool sometime to be able to do that. Old Barnwell's down there that they just built, which is I think still kind of up and coming and growing in. That Brian Schneider did. That's supposed to be tremendous. A lot of new golf going up there. The Broom's Edge, Kyle Franz is doing, which is in South Carolina as well. So there's quite a bit of new golf courses.
Do you know anything about Aiken Golf Club? We're playing it this weekend.
So I don't know anything personally about it, but I know what you guys know probably from the videos with No Laying Up, and whoever else has been in there, and a couple buddies of mine who have been, one of which who's a caddy at Dormy Club. He's caddied at Pebble, at Pinehurst. He absolutely raves about Aiken. He actually had his bachelor party down in Aiken, if that tells you anything.
Wow.
And Aiken Golf Club. So like he's played everywhere all over the world, and he chose to go there.
I'm so excited then.
So I guess it's just like a ton of fun, really cool story. If you get a chance to talk to the owner, I think that would be super cool. I mean, and how he's spent their family for generations, and how he kind of brought it back from what it was, and just I think it's definitely high on my list. And I think when I do make it to Georgia, I'm going to be driving through Aiken.
Well, we're playing Saturday, and we've got permission. We're getting there Friday afternoon, but we got permission to come up to the course and send our drone up and go and get like whole photos. So we'll try to do you proud and get some good photos. But
oh heck yeah!
If you got any
colorizing,
we're welcome.
Yeah, I need to hit you up about color grading in Lightroom because I'm terrible at it. I need to hit you.
Less is more.
Okay, perfect.
Less is more. I've learned that that's the biggest thing I can say looking back at my initial stuff is like I was just doing way too much moving sliders and stuff. Just I mean, it depends on the drone, obviously, but I mean, even if you're using like a mini, the Mini 3 now, the color grading settings that are built into that is so good. Like you don't really need to do too much, especially with the colors. Just a couple of the sliders But yeah, I could always
time of day,
talk to you guys offline about how time of day definitely makes a big difference. I mean, there's photographers out there that say, "Oh, you got to be able to shoot at any time of day," and yes, I hear that. But if you're shooting at 6 a.m. or at sunset versus somebody who's shooting midday,
big difference.
I don't even want to hear it. Like you're getting a way better photo, especially if you know how to shoot sunrise and sunset. And get the balance of the two. So. Yeah, I think that definitely helps. I think sometimes like with a course like Aiken or a course like Pinehurst style, you gotta like it's almost like an hour before the sun goes down, or even a little bit earlier than that, because once it gets a little bit too low below the pines, then you don't get sun into those corridors, and you don't get light on the holes, and it's tough to really see. Whereas like Tobacco Road, you can shoot out there a little bit later because it's just so much more open, and you've got more sunlight to work with.
Man, well, awesome. Y'all, do y'all have any more
So
questions for
Yeah.
Billy?
So yeah, before we wrap it up here, I want Billy to give us a rundown on some of the hot places to visit in the Pinehurst area, because we're staying in Pinehurst, but we're not staying on the resort. So we'll definitely be in the area checking all the amenities out there, and then driving to a bunch of the other different courses that we're going to be playing.
awesome. All right, yeah, let's do this. All right, so first of all, hit me with your course schedule.
All right. So first on the list, we will be playing Talamore, and that's going to be a very early tee time. I want to say almost like 7:30, and then we have an afternoon round at Longleaf, and then the next day we'll be playing Mid South. That'll be on a Friday, and then we're gonna try to play the Cradle that afternoon, and then Saturday morning will be Tobacco Road.
Okay. And then you guys fly out Sunday.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
Or head out Sunday. Yeah. Gotcha. All right. So great lineup. Love the Talamore Mid-South family of courses. Definitely, it's crazy. Like there's so much good golf down there. It's absurd that those two courses don't get mentioned all the time, because they're both that good. Talamore is a ton of fun. I've played that starting tee time many times. It's a great course to get out there early in the morning on, so it's a good round for that. And it's probably a good play. Make the most out of the day. That's more like your traditional Pinehurst style course. They've just redid the bunkers there to put some sod wall bunkers in there that have like this artificial turf, but it looks real. It's really cool, like these big pop bunkers. So check those out. That's cool. And just a fun golf course. They've got some llamas that used to be caddies.
I've heard
over,
about
I think
that.
off of hole 15 that you can check out. Yeah, back in the day. So, but great people over there at Talamore. They take really good care of you, and very good golf course. Great green complexes. Then Mid South is also one of my personal favorites. It's a little bit different than everything else down there in that it's not, I guess it's just, there's a lot of Donald Ross, I guess, style, like scruffy, no rough. It just goes straight to sandscape and pine needles and from fairway, that type of look, which I love, don't get me wrong. But it's just nice to have some variety. So you get that at mid South, where there's quite a bit of water, which is not a really common thing in Pinehurst. There's a big double green on 9 and 18. Still got the pines that line the whole course, and it's just kind of a bigger scale course than Talamore, I think. Big wide fairways, huge greens that roll phenomenal. A lot of bunkers out there. Really fun course to play. You guys are going to enjoy that one a lot. Longleaf, I have actually not played Longleaf, but I've driven by it like so many times, and I've always see the front nine. It looks really cool. It looks linksy. I've heard nothing but great things about it. And then being with Tobacco Road, obviously my thoughts on that. That'll be the treat. If you can, try to do a replay, because even if they don't, even if you don't make 18 holes, it's worth even playing the full rate. The replay rate's like 50 or 60 bucks. It's like it's a lot cheaper than the full freight. Yeah. So it's almost like it's worth it even for 9.
Oh, wow.
If you could do it, because it's that fun. Of course, it's that type of place. Not just because it's that fun and that beautiful out there, but like you're gonna be like, I know where to miss a little bit more now. Like I know there's way more room over in this spot than I thought before, and like you're just gonna have like 5 of those instances on each 9 where you're gonna be like, I need to do that again. and it's just like for your own sanity. I mean, I shot like significantly better my second time around there the first time I visited. So it's just one of those things. I would recommend, if you can't get a tee time at the Cradle, it can be pretty hard if you're not staying there because they got to do it 24 hours in advance. And by that time and that time of year, it's tough with the packages and everything. But there is a putting course over at Pinehurst, and it's called the Thistledew, and you can go over and use that for free, which is amazing. And you can go over there and get the whole Pinehurst vibe, grab some cocktails, grab some transfusions, take your shoes off, go play the putting course. It's massive. It's a huge 18-hole course on this, green that's just as nice as any green that you'll find on Pinehurst courses. Crazy, slopes and everything. They've got like little teeing off areas that have cup holders, and it's just a great way to like wind down a round or a day with your buddies.
That might be the big money match.
Actually, yeah. That it's like sometimes even more fun than playing the Cradle, to be honest with you. I mean, if you can get a tee time in the Cradle, do it if you haven't done it before. But we do that a lot now just because it's so fun. And it's free, which is kind of ridiculous, but they get you there, buying drinks and stuff. So they still get what they need out of you. But the Cradle's a lot of fun too. I mean, we just actually went down there and played that a couple weeks ago, and we did a morning tee time because we couldn't get one in the afternoon. So we kind of did like a warm up on the Cradle before we went over to Pine Needles, and it's just a blast. Great spot for sure. So I'd say outside of golf though, if you guys could check out for breakfast, there's a place called The Track. It's I don't know if you heard of it. It's literally, there's a harness track right behind the Cradle. It's like literally right next to the Cradle in Pinehurst #1. It borders it. It's a harness track, horse racing harness track. And in the middle of that, or in the track, if you pull into it, there's a kind of a hole in the wall type diner, if you will. I don't want to call it that, but at the same time I do, because I love those places. And it's run by some folks from New York, and it's just a staple down there. And it's like just great base breakfast that you can get, like, down home cooking, like just great stuff. Like absolutely, like it's not fancy, cash only establishment. You're in and out in 25, 30 minutes with a full meal. I mean, I can't recommend going there enough. So definitely hit up The Track.
Gonna have to. That sounds.
I got
too
the
good.
address now. We're ready.
Yeah. For Brecky, go get a nice base there, and then go do what you do, and and then definitely wind down over at the Thistledew putting course one day for sure, and do that barefoot. And if you get over there in the afternoon on a weekend or in the early evening, you'll see why that place is one of the most special places in golf.
Well,
it's a vibe. It's adult playground over there. For
I can't wait. Billy, thanks for coming on and taking the time to even talk to us about all this. You just made me more excited about coming to the Carolinas.
Absolutely. Well, you're gonna love the Pinehurst, Southern Pines area, and if you ever come back, I mean, you guys are not too far away in Georgia. Definitely, the Mid Pines, Pine Needle, Southern Pines courses. That trio of Donald Ross is incredible. They're all three of them are top 100 public courses in the country. All three of them have been renovated by Kyle Franz in the last couple of years. So those are definitely worth the trip back for in and of themselves.
We'll love it. Y'all got anything?
I'm good. I'm excited.
Yep. Just the excitement.
We appreciate. Yep, that was Billy with Carolinas. We're gonna have all your stuff linked, which people probably already know, all this Carolina Pines golf. But I love looking at your photos. Keep doing it, Billy. We appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate all the kind words and the feedback, and I wish you guys an awesome trip. I know you guys will have a great time. Regardless of the weather, don't even worry about if it rains, because you know what? The place drains phenomenally anyways. It's all on sand. So it's awesome. You're gonna have a blast. What are the dates again?
Friday for Aiken.
Oh.
And then September 24th, somewhere in there.
7th.
27th.
September 27th.
That weekend
is when we board our jet plane.
That's right.
Okay, interesting. Well, I know somebody who's going to be in Pinehurst that weekend, so we might have to link
let's
up.
do
Oh
it.
man, there we
Oh
go.
yeah.
Would love to.
I'm going to actually be there. I'm going to be at Mid Pines, Pine Needles that weekend on a buddy's trip. Just a small one, but yes,
Count on us for a
let's
drink at
connect
This'll
offline
Do.
and we'll
Yeah.
do it.
We got you.
Yep,
Need
absolutely,
some cash.
absolutely, guys.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
All
I
right.
love it. All right, fellas. Thanks for having
Billy.
me on.
Thank you.
See.
We'll talk.
Thank you.
Bye.
Well, perfect. I'm excited about the trip now. Real quick, we'll kind of run through, since already it's my bedtime, my boys, so we're gonna run through this.
I know. We put Marley. We got home. Put Marley in the tub. Joni's feeding her and putting her to sleep now. So I was like, I'm gonna jump on the pod. They started late.
So we ready. Let me do this real quick. We'll jump into this part of the show. Well, that one's gonna be wet. Welcome to the Drop Zone. This is presented to you by Warlord Beard Men's Grooming Essentials. At this point that you're listening, we've already announced last week's winner on our social media. But if you want to win a free thing of beard oil, then we'll post the Drop Zone question on our Instagram. Comment, tag 3 friends, and you have a chance to win. It's just gonna be a random scent, correct? That we'll send to you. All of them are wonderful. But you can win one. So here's the question. I thought of this today for you boys. Let's hear your answer. In a round of golf, would you rather make one 50-foot putt or 10 5-foot putts?
Oh wow.
50 foot.
You'd rather make the one from deep from
I feel like
downtown?
just like the video the other day from Callaway.
Oh,
it just hits different. Like the 5-6 footers, you're like, I know where our talent level is, but you expect to make them.
Yeah.
You expect pro accuracy from 6 foot or 5 foot.
The only difference,
but that 50 footer, it's different.
It does it. So that round, that clip that we posted, it happened then, and then when we played AJ and I made that deep putt, like both of those felt incredible. The only thing in the other side I think of is that if I make 10 5-foot putts, how many times around a golf do I 2-putt 5-foot putts? And could I shoot my lowest score ever if I made 10 of those? That's the only other side.
It would be if you hit every 5-foot putt, because a couple of chips are up there.
Yeah.
There's not many eagle shots at it. But, 5-10 foot, that's birdie range if you're up.
So, but I will say, with us being content creators, give me the 50-foot putt.
I need the 50 foot. On camera.
No,
what do you got, Brady?
No, I'll take the I guess we'll do the trio. I'll take the 50-footer because that could change your whole round. You drop one of those and your excitement level goes up. The adrenaline's pumping after that. You're ready to go, make a couple of birdies. Even if you're outside of that 5-foot range, you might drain another good long putt.
That's true. Depends on what that 50-foot putt, what it was for. If it was for a par, birdie, or a triple. But sometimes if you get them 10 5-foots rolling, those are the ones you just putt and you just make eye contact with whoever you're playing against. Like, I'm here all day, baby.
I did that.
I'm going to be doing this all day.
Look at them real quick.
Yeah. And so we're going to transition now into our picks for the week. It's brought to you by Primo Golf Apparel. Use BSG15 for 15% off. Get you some of those shorts, some of those joggers. Interesting. This is our Tour Championship, the last tournament of the season. The PGA Tour, if you're new to golf, you don't really watch golf, you're just listening to our podcast, the season kind of ends in August. They take a few weeks off. They pick back up in September. Kind of weird, but that's just how they do it. So important to note before we make our picks, we got Scotty starting in the lead at 10 under. I'm just going to list like the first four. Victor's at 8 under, Rory at 7 under, and Rahm at 6 under. And then you can go look, if you're listening, at the rest of the list. Last year, this was the Scotty and Rory tournament on Sunday. Rory got some kind of relief that I don't think he should have got against
the gallery relief.
The gallery relief, which led to him winning. Can't blame it all on that because Scotty kind of fell apart the last few holes. But with our picks, Mitchell said Victor Hovland was his pick.
I I don't know. I might change mine. I'm looking at it now. My guy's positive.
down that leaderboard, ain't he?
Oh yeah, Victor. I
Oh,
don't see
God.
Victor
He's
going back to
+4
back.
to start.
Yeah, he ain't doing it. I don't see Victor going back to back. That's Mitchell's pick. My pick. I think Scotty's coming with revenge. One, he's starting with a 2-stroke lead. You're not gonna be able to stop Scotty. He wants to do it. He couldn't do last year. This is a safe pick for me. Give me Scotty Scheffler.
I definitely
No
know
worries.
one guy that's not going to do it again, and that's Rory.
Oh yeah,
So
that's true.
taking him off the board right now. I like the Scotty pick. I think Casey, you've got a very fair point. I think he's got revenge on this tournament, and he wants the Tour Championship. I think he's going to get the Tour Championship, but I'm not going to pick the same pick as you. I got to go different. I'll do John Rahm.
Oh, that's a solid.
Maybe Ronald, he'll do something. He'll like light a fire and shoot like 64, 65s. Back-to-back or
very
something.
important to note for our listeners that this is a no-cut event, so everybody's playing the whole weekend. Only 30 people in it. Last place will win. Still gets paid out $500,000. First place is $18 million.
Good Lord.
I'm ready. Send me.
Yeah. So who do you guys at?
I think I'm gonna stick with my pick. He's 4 under to start. So Fitzpatrick.
Matthew Fitzpatrick. Solid pick.
He can get hot.
I think he's playing well. He lost by just a couple strokes last weekend. So
This is one of those.
I got Fitz. A 6-stroke difference from the leader, but it's 4 rounds. He's going to be calculated with every swing. So
You're right
There's
about
no
that.
doubt about that.
I forgot to add that if you win on top of $18 million, you also get a 5-year PGA Tour exemption. Most of the people in this tournament, I don't think really need exemptions, but that's just part of it. You get a 5-year exemption. So if you're new to golf and you've never watched golf, this is the weekend to watch. This is all the big names going at it. It's here close to us in Atlanta, Georgia. So go check that out. Those are our picks for the week.
we will be at 2024's. Confirmed.
Confirmed. We've already bought tickets. Confirmed. It's the year of BSG going to tourneys with the Sony and getting some photos.
We're there.
That's it. We're about to pack our bags and we're headed to South Carolina this weekend to go play in the Brian Bros Invitational. Going to be a lot of fun. We're excited about it. Get to meet. I was telling Brady, Zach, that this will be our first time meeting a PGA Tour winner.
Yeah.
Wesley, because he's definitely not playing in the Tour Championship, so he'll have to be at his own tournament, his own invitational.
That's probably why they went ahead and did it.
Yeah,
they were
knew he
holding
wasn't
up
gonna
on
make it.
releasing the date.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be super neat for us. We're excited. I'm thinking, I don't think we'd have time. I say, do we take the podcast setup and do one for old time's sake there? But I don't know if we'd have time to really do it. So unless we just knocked one out in the
And
truck
depending on how Friday goes.
Friday evening, but we have the barbecue, hanging out with everybody.
Yeah. That would probably be late, I imagine.
Yeah, we could always set the GoPro up, and Brady would miss out, but on the windshield of the truck and record a pod in the truck on the way there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just do it live.
Zach just holding a
I'll
mic
just join
as he's
in on
driving.
my phone. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just group you in.
Can't be no different than Mitch driving, cooking.
Driving and cooking. But that's it for episode. We're going to keep it under an hour. We got 50 seconds. Episode 68. Thanks for watching. We're about to head to South Carolina. We'll see you next week.